Hey guys. So I stumbled across this article on the Wall Street Journal's website of all places today about highly sensitive people. And apparently, highly sensitive people are becoming a thing. There was a conference recently, perhaps in the Netherlands, I don't remember. And this article in the Wall Street Journal linked to a quiz written in the 90s by a psychologist to help you determine if you, in fact, are an HSP, or highly sensitive person. Now, if you see my video on introverts, you know how I feel about labels. And there will be a second part to this video. There will be a second video in which I'll talk more about this labeling thing and about being an HSP and using this label. And in that video, I will connect that to a conversation I had with my daughter today about palm reading and why people go to see palm readers. Meanwhile, however, I am going to take this quiz, this HSP quiz, with you right now. I'll do the whole thing. So I started doing this. I got about 10 questions in and I stopped. I was enjoying it, to be quite honest, and I want to take it with you. So the first several questions I've already done, I've already answered, but I just do the whole thing like I haven't done it. Now, of course, I haven't done most of it. I'm going to try to treat this thing as honestly as I can. I think self-evaluation and thinking about yourself is helpful. The next video, we can talk about labeling. But let's go ahead and get started. So, this is to determine if I'm a highly sensitive person. By the way, I cry a lot. And this is the the big thing, the Wall Street Journal thing was crying. Do you cry a lot? This man who cries. And the guy who posted the link on Facebook talked about crying. It's crying. I am a crier. I cry a lot. I went to see Cinderella today with my daughter, and I cried through the entire movie. I cry for many, many reasons. I cry all the time. And we'll talk about that in the next video. But suffice to say that I don't cry because I'm sad, normally. I cry because life is beautiful. So let's move on. Let this weeper take this quiz with you. Are you highly sensitive? Answer each question according to the way you personally feel. Check the box if it is at least somewhat true for you. Leave unchecked if it is not very true or not at all true for you. So, somewhat subjective. Here we go. I am easily overwhelmed by strong sensory input. I would say that's not true. Not easy to overwhelm me. I seem to be aware of subtleties in my environment. And like so many online quizzes, there's going to be a lot of self-flattery here. That is true. I believe I am aware of subtleties in my environment. Other people's moods affect me. Of course, that's true. I can't imagine anyone not responding yes to that unless they were a psychopath. I tend to be very sensitive to pain. Not true. I find myself needing to withdraw during busy days into bed or into a darkened room or any place where I can have some privacy and relief from stimulation. I am going to say that's true. I benefit from withdrawing. I am particularly sensitive to the effects of caffeine. False, my friends, although that is changing as I age. I am easily overwhelmed by things like bright lights, strong smells, coarse fabrics, or sirens close by. Not true. I have a rich, complex inner life. Once again, a little self-flattery, and I will flatter myself. True. Rich, complex inner life. I am made uncomfortable by loud noises. I'd say that's not true. I am deeply moved by the arts or music. That is true. I cry at Cinderella. I cry at Last of the Mohicans. My nervous system sometimes feels so frazzled that I just have to go off by myself. Not true. I am conscientious. I would say that's true. It depends what it's about. But about the things I care about, I am. But then, see, that's everyone's conscientious about what they care about, right? Whatever. Moving on. I startle easily. Not true. I get rattled when I have a lot to do in a short amount of time. That is not true. When people are uncomfortable in a physical environment, I tend to know what needs to be done to make it more comfortable, like changing the lighting or the seating. I'd say that's true. I actually think I am kind of hyper-aware about that sort of thing. I am annoyed when people try to get me to do too many things at once. Well, I think that's just a by definition question. If they ask me to do too many things, I am annoyed. I kind of want to answer that false, because it's so stupidly phrased, but I'm going to answer it true. I try hard to avoid making mistakes or forgetting things. Meh. I make a point to avoid violent movies and TV shows. Sometimes, not really, no. I become unpleasantly aroused when a lot is going on around me. Makes me wonder if the word is being used sexually or not. I become unpleasantly aroused when a lot is going on around me. I'll say no either way. Being very hungry creates a strong reaction in me, disrupting my concentration or mood. Of course, that's true. Perhaps this is just a little bit of selfish myopia, but isn't that true for everyone? If you are very hungry, your mood is affected. Changes in my life shake me up. Somewhat true-ish, not really, no. I kind of crave change. I'm going to answer no on that one. You know what? I'm going to press pause while the train goes by. Excuse me. Alright, let's get back to it. Changes in my life shake me up, no. I notice and enjoy delicate or fine scents, tastes, sounds, and works of art. Once again, descending into blatant self-flattery, I click yes. I find it unpleasant to have a lot going on at once. No. I make it a high priority to arrange my life to avoid upsetting or overwhelming situations. Not a high priority. I am bothered by intense stimuli, like loud noises or chaotic scenes. No, not true. When I must compete or be observed while performing a task, I become so nervous or shaky that I do much worse than I would otherwise. Absolutely not true. When I was a child, my parents or teachers seemed to see me as sensitive or shy. Not true. I don't think. I was quiet and retiring, but had no difficulty making friends. I was just bookish. I was bookish. And when I discovered sports, because I started hanging out with Americans, wow, a whole new world. All right. So I need to count up. That's it. So I'm going to count up my positive answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 yeses. That is the minority. Of a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Ten out of 27, I answered yes. So the scoring. If you answered more than 14 of the questions as true of yourself, you are probably highly sensitive. HSP, highly sensitive person. But no psychological test is so accurate that an individual should base his or her life on it. We psychologists try to develop good questions, then decide on the cutoff based on the average response. If fewer questions are true of you, but extremely true, that might also justify calling yourself highly sensitive. In the article, posted on the Wall Street Journal, Alanis Morissette was mentioned. Of Isn't It Ironic fame. She went to this conference on HSPs, and the article mentioned that she gave some talk or sang a song or something, I don't know, made some presentation. The article in the Wall Street Journal identified her as a self-identified HSP. So, I, apparently, even though credit card commercials make me weep, and even though I cried all through Cinderella, and even though one of my pastors emailed me several weeks ago asking if I was okay because I was weeping through communion, even though I am a highly emotional person and a crier, I am not an HSP. So, next video, let's talk about labels. Peace be upon you, my sweet brothers.